Yo, what's up, Famiglia? Hey, thanks for tuning back in. Happy holidays, Buon Natale. I hope everybody's having a beautiful holiday season and finishing the year out strong. Check this out. I need you guys to like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, share the podcast, and if you're on YouTube or Apple, leave me a comment. We got a new studio, brand new podcast studio. We're under construction right now. We will be recording that bad boy next week. Let's go. Good pizza drops. Check this out. We are officially dropping in the dispensaries and deliveries in California this week. Yes, Wednesday's the day. We're kicking off grand openings on Friday. Follow the story to see where you can get the pizza. Christmas is here, folks. There ain't a better time to get some good pizza merch for your loved ones. So hit the store, goodpizza.com with 3 Z's, promo code GABAGOOL, all caps. If you don't know how to spell it, DM me. Patreon is up, folks. If you want exclusive content that nobody's ever seen before, I got some raw shit for y'all from my Uncle Kev. Me and Turkey Bag Tom got a cool piece up there. I was bugging out on J Street after the first episode I ever recorded that we never even released. So you're going to see a lot of unreleased stuff on there and a lot of stuff I have to cut out of the podcast. You're going to catch it on Patreon. So tune in, folks. I appreciate y'all. If you could, donate a little something to your big cool Gene on Patreon so I can keep this show rolling. As always, peace, love, good pizza. I'll see y'all on the show. What's up, cool Genes? It's JP from the Good Pizza Podcast. How yous doing? Check this out. We're back. Thanks for tuning back in. We're here to break some bread with you, smoke some good tree with you, and talk good pizza. Good Pizza Show is all about our journeys with the plant, where it took us, where it's taken us, and how our past intertwined on the journey with the beautiful cannabis plant. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share the podcast, Cool Genes. Also, we have some new merch dropping on the website. I know I keep saying it, but it's going to happen real soon.
Tell them.
So anyway, here's the deal. Today we have a very special guest. This is his first podcast, first time coming out the shadows. He was raised in Northern California his whole life, from skateboarding as a youngster to selling weed in high school like a real one to growing some of the finest cannabis and arguably the best LCG in the game, to washing fresh frozen with his bro Rose Gold and anything and everything in between. My guy has a dope story to tell. So please welcome Greengold Collective. What's up?
Hey.
Thanks for having me on, boys. This is super dope.
Absolutely, man. So check this out, man. We all got a cannabis story, right? But let's talk about the story behind the story. What was little Greengold like before he was Greengold? What was the come up like, man?
Yeah, I mean,
Where'd you grow up?
I was telling you, I grew up around here. Actually, I lived in Sacramento for a few years, but I was like born and raised in a little town called Gridley.
Gridley?
You know,
Okay.
A lot of people call it gridlock.
Okay.
A lot of people never get out of there, but
Right.
For sure.
yeah, I would say I was telling you earlier that my first experience was I don't know, it was probably my craziest experience smoking weed ever.
Smoking
you
weed?
know?
All right, we're coming right out with the first time smoking weed. Let's
Yeah,
go.
so I mean, yeah, you mentioned
High
a little
school?
skater kid. No, I was probably 13 or 14. I was with my cousin who's actually from Sac. He lived in Land Park.
Nice.
And
Now, you was always a skater from...
I tried, bro. I was never that good, you know? I tried so many things I was just not good at when I was a kid, you know, growing up. And, kind of end up growing weed because it was one of the first things I was good at.
No shit?
Yeah, and then the martial arts and stuff like that, too. So I was like, you know, I just kind of followed what I ended up being good at. But, yeah, I was 13 or 14, and back then in Santa Cruz, there was a skate park, and it was actually built out of a parking lot. Okay. And it was right next to the railroad tracks by the boardwalk. Yeah, I'll never forget this. We were skating, me and my cousin, and we kind of always, we would see people smoking weed in Santa Cruz, and we were like, oh, man, you know, we want to try that, you know? And
Right.
Underneath the half pipe on our way out of the skate park, it was getting dark. I put my hat under there. I go to grab my hat, and there's a little like thing that looks like a pillow with a zipper on it. I'm like, what's this? I look around. There's only one other guy at the skate park. I'm like, hey, is this thing yours? And he's like, no. I unzip it. There's a pipe in there, a weed pipe. And I'm like, oh, my God, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Me and my cousin, and my cousin's like, well, now we just need to find some weed. So the only other guy at the skate park, we're like, hey, you got some weed? He's like, this guy skated down to his car with our money, like $10.
Yeah.
He was gone for like 10 minutes. We're like, shit, we got played.
Yeah.
And he came back and it was some purple and some tinfoil, just like how it was back then.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's fate. Same day you find a pipe, I also find
that
some
was-
tree.
No,
like,
for real. The only other guy there.
from the only other
Throwing
guy.
this out there.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of people don't have this cool
I mean-
story about the first time, bro. So please continue.
It was Santa Cruz. You know?
Yeah, that's
You have a
true.
pretty good chance of finding some
That's
weed.
true.
That's true.
So, you know, our moms were kind of like, just drop us off somewhere and let us do our thing. So
Well, yeah.
we're like, oh, we got to go somewhere and hide and make sure we don't get caught. So we
Yeah.
go under the railroad tracks. And if you've ever been to Santa Cruz or back then, or you know Santa Cruz, you know these railroad tracks, you know the skate park. The railroad tracks are raised up and they go over it.
Okay.
So we were smoking under the railroad tracks. And yeah, I just remember we took a couple hits. Next thing I know, I start feeling funny, and me and my cousin were like, well, hey, let's walk to the arcade and go on the boardwalk.
You damn right.
I was like 14 at the time, bro. This is like, and I still remember it clear as day, just like opening the doors and walking in the arcade and just all the lights and everything going off, and you're just a little kid, you know, like lit for the first time.
It's a
And I was-
fucking movie. I can hear the music
fucking
playing.
movie,
and
bro.
Bro, for real, I remember little details, and I was just like, whoa, this is it. This is for me, you know. I remember like
Ooh,
playing the
hook,
games. We went to
Everything was so much cooler, right?
bro, it was up until that, you know, a lot of us that started smoking weed young, it was like it was kind of our escape because our lives were, you know,
Yeah. Right.
subpar or whatever. you know?
Exactly.
Not
Yeah.
great. So that little escape was nice. I remember
Yeah.
going in there, and one of the things I remember the most was there was this little thing, and you put a quarter in it, and it was like a flip book. And I just remember it was flipping all these pictures, and it was playing a movie, like an old school movie, you know?
Right.
Damn.
And it was flipping all these pictures, and it was a girl by the river, and all of a sudden her tits were out. And I was just like, oh shit, it's the best day ever. Like
You definitely
14.
had the best ever.
He got
Yeah.
weed tits.
Bro.
So that was my first experience smoking weed. Bro, I had that
Wow.
pipe for years. We got back to the hotel where his mom was at, and we hid that pipe in some bushes. And then, like, every day that we left the hotel, we'd go find the pipe, and we'd get the weed, and we'd hide it again. And
It just became immediately part of y'all life. Like,
That's how it
Stashing
started.
shit and
Bro.
oh shit. Yo,
Yeah.
you have one of the most fun I've smoked weed for the first time stories. We just came
Yes.
off of my last episode. Shout out to Chino. He had the most. My anxiety was through the roof when he was telling me the story. Like he tripped out. He was like Smokey in the chicken coop, bro.
Bro, it was psychedelic for me. Like,
It was very
every
psychedelic
time I
for him.
smoked weed after that, I was like, why isn't it like that anymore?
Nah, my man
You
had
know?
a panic attack, bro.
Oh, not me.
Yeah, he had a panic attack.
No.
I see your whole story in like slow motion with like slow ride playing
Yeah,
behind you.
bro,
Like,
this was very
slow
intense.
ride.
Bro, I grew
And you just walking through the arcade, like,
absolutely.
high with a large soda.
I did picture a movie like. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, my favorite movie growing up was Lost Boys.
Yeah.
And they filmed it right there on that boardwalk. And he's like, they're flying over the boardwalk and they're
stop.
playing that song by like Aerosmith or
Right.
Yo, stop playing. That was filmed at the Santa Cruz
something.
Boardwalk.
Yes.
I didn't know that, bro.
Yes, bro. The opening scene, they're playing
that's my
Aerosmith or whatever
shit.
it is. Shit, they might even be playing Slow Ride. I don't remember, you know?
Trip, dude.
Yeah, my
That's a trip.
stepmom, she was always into like
So-
vampires and scary movies, so.
Was
Were you-
your parents into it? Were your parents cool? You smoking?
Hell no.
Hell to the
Hell
fuck no.
no. My dad didn't figure out I was smoking weed till I got caught smoking weed in high school.
Okay.
Yeah. And
He looked at it like a loser, like a slacker or a loser.
no, my dad was a wild man, bro.
Okay.
My dad was a wild man. So it was like when he'd tell me stuff, I'm just looking at him, and he used to always say, he like, what would he say? He's like, don't do as I say, or
Do as I
Whatever.
don't do as I do.
Classic
Yeah.
guy.
Do as I say, not
do
as I do.
say, not as I do.
Yeah.
He'd always say that. I'm like, what the hell? Because,
Yeah.
bro, I didn't even know drinking and driving was illegal until I was driving.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, he'd
bro.
pick me up from school as far back as I could remember, and
With
he'd
a
be
cold
like,
Billy?
sap the top of this Coke, and I'd sap like the first sip of Coke, and then he just blah 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 pour the Jack in it, and that's how we rolled, bro. My whole
Shit,
childhood, I didn't even know that was illegal.
So you thought he was just, that was his little thing, his little mix.
Yeah,
you know?
so
No big deal.
oh yeah, bro, we'd be fishing, and he'd have no water. He'd be like,
Oh no shit.
no
bro.
water ever. I'd be like, I'm dying of thirst, and he's like, hey, here's a Coors Light. I'm like, so smoking weed, I was kind of like, whatever when he was mad, you know.
Yeah.
So your childhood was kind of like erratic, or was it
Oh
stable?
yeah, bro, absolutely. My mom and my dad, they both wanted to just do their own thing. So my mom was trying to leave me with my dad, My dad was trying to leave me with my mom. And then actually, you know, like I'm grateful for all of it because it pretty much made me what I am and pushed me in this direction because the first time I ever made money from weed was my mom stopped her visits with me when I was about 13. Okay. So I didn't see her for a year. I didn't see her for 6 years, but after a year, I was in freshman in high school.
Right.
And they called me in the office. I'm like, fuck, I'm in trouble, man. I'm like trying to think about what I did.
Right.
And they're like, no, your mom, she left this for you for your birthday. And it was an envelope with $150. Bro, I took that $150 at lunchtime. I went straight to the homie's house where his older brother had some weed.
Yeah.
And that was back in the day when you didn't even have a scale. You know, it was just like how far it lined up across the bag. You know, you knew.
Fingers up type shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember him like lining up the bag. I'm like, that don't look like 150. And he's like, just throws like a whole nother handful in, like doubled it. I was like, that looks like 150.
Okay. Do you remember what it was?
It was some Hindu. Hindu Kush, yeah.
Jamie's favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite weed historically.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
It was a round ball, like almost brown looking, you know, Hindu. And, bro, at the time, like I said, my parents didn't want nothing to do with me. So I never had lunch money. So that was my whole thing was take that, flip it. And then I had lunch money. And then I had, money for the re-up, and then I was smoking.
Right.
I just
that was life.
Back.
So you was on
today
some,
now. Like eat
right.
good food, pretty much.
Lord of the Flies, huh?
Yeah,
But at a young age, you were kind of raising yourself, so to speak, with your cousins.
Absolutely, bro.
90s, right?
Yeah, I was born in 90. I ran away at like 16 years old, and my best friend's family, they love me. They had a little barn in the back of their property where like some Mexicans lived that worked on the farm.
Yeah.
It was off season. They're like, go ahead, like make yourself at home. This shit was like 5 foot tall, bro.
Right.
Like I literally had to like hunch and like walk around in there because it was the loft of a barn. And I finished out high school there. I did my own thing. I got my own car and
Thank God for them, huh?
yeah, bro.
Real.
Yeah.
Gave you some like stability at least.
Yeah.
At least you're not chasing a house.
Yeah, his
16.
yeah.
That's wow.
You've
been a man for a long time.
And you finished school. What made you
I did better, bro.
You
As soon as I was on my own and doing my own thing, I did better because there's just no stress or anxiety or like no one over your shoulder, like trying, you know.
Yeah,
for sure.
all this
But
stuff.
that's like resolve to actually finish, like after leaving, like, you know, in that environment. And, you know, it could go straight to hustling. To finish, it was like, nah, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna keep getting my shit done. And I'm probably selling good tree at school.
Oh, yeah. I found my friend's older brother, and then I found another homie who would take weed from his dad's stash. And they always had good weed, so that's how it started. But
You can get it for the low too when it's stolen.
oh yeah, yeah.
I had them friends when we were young that would hit their parents and shit.
Yeah, that's how I got in the game. Shit, stolen from Uncle Kev, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to Anthony, R.I.P. man.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. to my homie's dad too. That he was the one that brought me into living there in the barn, and that was the first funeral I went to and I ever spoke at. And man, it tore me up because years had passed, you know. And I'm at his funeral, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, when all else failed, and I was on my own. That my homie's dad brought me in, and he saw something.
Facts.
That was a real part of your story, man.
Yeah.
A real part of how you turned out, bro.
Yeah.
Because that still gave you some like love, trust, affection that fucking young men need. Young teenagers need that shit.
And it gives you the emotions that flood back when you go years later. You remember that time when you probably weren't thinking about that much. Like, whoa, that was a pivotal fucking time in my
absolutely.
life. Like, fuck, thank this guy for being there. Yeah, R.I.P. So you was hustling in high school. Getting back to the story, you was hustling in high school. That's when it started.
That's when it started, and I mean, basically,
Where'd you go from there? What happened after?
Was it like a couple zips, or was it like a P you were buying in high school?
I started with the 150. Like I said, there was not even a scale. I don't even remember how much it was, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I just kept kind of like doubling it up. And then I would say the first time I started like getting bigger amounts, I was probably like 18, 19, and I made a best friend. I met him at a gym. I started training MMA. Back then, I thought I was gonna be a big UFC fighter.
Facts.
No doubt.
I fucks with the fight.
Still just popping off, and like, you know, I still think I could have done it, but like I said, like in life, you just got to pay attention to like what avenues are working out and what are not. You can run your head into the wall forever. And,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was something that worked out with for me for a while. And then, you know, now I'm here. But
Sure.
my same friend that like we fought together and we would go to the casinos and fight and we were on the same team. He got me into growing. And
Nice.
really the pivotal moment that got us into growing was he was living in Yuba City.
Okay.
I was working at a tower market in Yuba City at the time. Because that's where I graduated from high school.
Right.
And just one night, my friend was like, oh, you know, my neighbor, he's got like this greenhouse in his backyard. And we were always selling like little amounts of weed. So that was like the coolest thing in the world to us. Never grew yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was just like selling little amounts of weed. And he's like, my neighbor's got this greenhouse in his backyard. We should talk to him. We should see if he can teach us, you know? But he was always too scared to go over there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one night he hears some stuff in the backyard and there's people hopping his fence to get to his neighbor's greenhouse.
Right.
He's like, oh shit. So he runs over to the neighbor's house. He's like, bro, someone's trying to rob your greenhouse. He runs out there with the strap and
Check.
runs those people off, you know. And then after that, he was like indebted to my homie, you know.
Right.
So he's like, my homie's like, you know, I actually want to learn how to grow. And we called the guy Crazy Troy. We didn't know he was a tweaker. We just thought he was crazy.
Right.
Yeah, but like as we got older, we realized like, oh, he ain't crazy. He just tweaker.
No.
Yeah, but he was like a
Spun to
good
the hub.
tweaker. You know? Like he would literally just take his Harley apart and like rebuild it in the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
hurt
know.
nobody, you know.
Nobody.
So
One of the mechanic tweakers.
Yeah.
For sure.
and he had a greenhouse that was it looked small, right? It didn't look very tall, but what he had done is he had dug in the ground like 3 feet. So it was actually like dug down and he had like pretty big plants in there and we were just blown away. We were like, holy shit. So like, shit. By the next season, me and my buddy, we had our own house together in Yuba City and off of Deerfield. And
Shout to Deerfield.
shout out Deerfield. Like there's a lot of Indians in Yuba City cooking all that curry and shit, covered up the weed on a damn near basis, bro.
Nice.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, bro. You roll through the neighborhood, we smell like onions and curry, and we're like, ain't no one smelling the weed, bro.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was
I
awesome.
never even thought
And they don't snitch either.
They're
cool.
They themselves.
Yeah, they
I live
do.
in all in Indian
Shout
neighborhood.
out
Yeah.
to Indians.
They keep to themselves,
Hey, what
bro.
you doing?
Yeah.
My wife's a Hindu. Shout out to the Hindus.
I respect them, bro. They run deep, bro.
They
Like,
do.
they roll so deep. You got 3 generations in the same house.
But so y'all started growing in the house?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it was actually Purple Hindu Kush.
Talk
And,
your shit.
Oh.
So the first weed I got that I started selling was Hindu. This was purple, purple Hindu, and it was the most, bro. We filled this backyard wall to wall, like there was you couldn't see dirt, nothing. And that was our first crop, and we're literally about to pull this crop the next day. And I had spent the night at my girlfriend's house, bro. I wake up to someone banging on my girlfriend's door. I come to the door, and it's my best friend who I'm growing with.
Right.
And he's in his fucking underwear, sweating, like panicking, bro. Just like, where the fuck were you? This and this and that. I'm like, what do you mean, bro? I'm at my girlfriend's house. And he's like, someone robbed us.
Oh.
And I'm thinking like, oh, you know, someone got this or that, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there. I pull up to the house, bro. There ain't a leaf left. Like, we're talking like wall to wall. The whole thing's cleared out.
They stayed an hour.
And at the time, it was...
So now it's the hustle. Now you're out on the road. You're out living. You're fully immersed in the life and in the prop. You're staying like legit, semi-legit gray area, like it was that area, which was beautiful. So good. And you're all running through the highs and lows. How good did it get? You had a couple of good crops during this time.
Man, I've had way more good than bad, you know. But the bad are the better stories, right?
Good. Yeah.
Any notable strains that you was working with? Anything like, damn, bro, that was.
Hey, right here, I want to show you this jar of pink lemonade we just washed. That was something I was growing 7-8 years ago, and
Oh shit.
it was one of those things, like the one that got away, you know, the great white buffalo.
Yeah.
So like I was growing that like 7-8 years ago, and I remember I don't know, back then it was kind of just like you would get clones and you would grow, and you know, it wasn't really like you weren't like backing up everything or this and that. You thought you could get stuff back, you know.
Yeah, bro.
And so I grew that, and it smells exactly like that Country Time pink lemonade powder from back in the day. You mix some water, you know, and so like 7-8 years ago we were growing it and we were trimming it. I was like, wow. I was like, bro, like I can't believe like I don't have a backup of this cut.
Yeah.
I can't believe I don't have it around anymore. And shout out Greengold Farmer, my homie out in Hawaii. He found that for me. Damn. After like 7-8 years of looking for it, and we grew it this year, and my brother washed it, and that's one from back in the day that I'm really happy is back now.
It came out like you remembered.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty.
And it was being worked with in Hawaii at the time, and you got one back from Hawaii.
I think he got it back from a homie in Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah, honestly, those
That's
Hawaiians,
incredible.
dude, they hold on to stuff.
Right.
No
You know what I mean?
shit.
It's hard to get stuff out to an island.
It's an island, right? They
Yeah.
have to. You gotta be strategic, man.
Exactly. And
Preservation.
they're serious, bro. Like out in Hawaii, they're serious. It's one circle.
Right.
You know,
that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
It's very close knit.
They're all grown, not flown.
Grown not flown. That's probably their motto.
It is, bro.
Let's fill in the rest of this. What is your connection to Hawaii, and how did that happen?
Yeah. Right?
Okay, so I had a partner for a few years here, and we worked together in Grass Valley. Shout out Grass Valley. I love Grass Valley so much. I love Nevada City.
Oh, Nevada City, shout out. Hell yeah.
North San Juan, the
Ridge.
Ridge.
Ridge, shout out the Ridge.
The Ridge made me, bro. The Ridge I was off grid living like a fucking castaway, bro.
Hell yeah.
Literally, like
Ridge life, baby.
We were getting snowed in. Shout out Legend of Haru, best grower I've ever known. He was the one that was with me on the Ridge, and I've never seen one man do as much as he did and as well as he did. And I mean, we did it together, but he was always like, I always had indoors and always had like a couple rooms cooking, so I was always in and out.
Sure.
And he was always there holding it down, like that was the thing he wanted to do.
Hell yeah.
Like it was his pride and joy. And so shout out to him. He's got a day job now. He does, he still loves it, so he still has a few plants. But yeah, anyways, I had a homie out in Grass Valley, and we worked together for a few years. I thought we were like best friends and stuff. You know how it is. You think you have somebody that you guys will do whatever for each other, and then, they get greedy or whatever. They want to do it by themselves for cheaper or whatever. So I had a property we were paying for together, 50-50 in an LLC.
Split deal.
Yeah. And so he just dips out, and we had the property for 1 year. Mm-hmm. So we had 1 year, and he was literally just silent. He was just he was a silent like investor,
Yeah.
Okay.
But he held his weight as far as like what he did, and he taught me a lot because I never really went. I went hard, but I never went like super hard until I met him, and then I was like, he took me to the next level. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Even though this happened or whatever. So we're working multiple spots, and all the crew's like staying at a house. Well, he says, I'm gonna sell the house, this and that. I'm gonna get out of the game and this and that. Well, it turns out he didn't sell the house. He just hired some cheap labor to try to do it for him. And then on this other property, I did this farm, and I grew for 1 year. As soon as he got his return, he was like, I want to be out and get all my money back that I put in. And I'm like, well then what about all the weed you just got?
Right.
Because that weed didn't come out of nowhere.
Right.
So if you think about it, it's like if he wants to do that to somebody every year, he could have a free year.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna put the 50 up on this place.
Right.
Then I'm gonna get all my weed, and then I want my 50 back.
Right.
So that's the type of thing he wanted. So anyways, I ended up giving him his money and all this and that, but that's where my homie from Hawaii came in. At the time, the market was high. And
Bro, what years was this, bro?
this was the last good year of the market.
2016, 17?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I basically reached out to another homie in Grass Valley. Shout out Buck Mountain, one of the best.
Oh, Buck Mountain, that's my dog. Man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, he's coming on the show soon.
Yeah, dude, he's way smarter than me.
Sage.
He's going to have a lot more
It's my dog, man.
smart shit to say.
Dude, he's a fucking beast.
He's
bro.
a genius,
He's putting
bro.
out killer shit, bro.
He's a little bit of a self-admitted asshole, but he's a genius, bro.
Yeah, I'm from Jersey, bro.
I'm a self-admitted asshole too.
That's a regular dude on my
Bro,
way.
to be honest with you, I love assholes.
Right.
Because whenever
They're
he's like
straight shooters, bro.
he'll talk shit to you, and you'll be like, all right, I'm gonna do it how you're saying then.
Right.
You know what I mean? He'll be like, why are you doing it like that? You're fucking up. I'm like, all right, well, tell me how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get upset. I'm gonna be like, what do you know that I don't know?
Yeah.
You know?
How far back do you go with him?
Maybe 4 or 5, basically my whole time up in Grass Valley. I was up in Grass Valley and like I said, the Ridge for around like 7 years. Back.
Cool.
So we just knew each other from IG and then met each other.
The community.
Yeah, the community. So I asked him, you know, because he runs a tight ship. I was like, hey, my partner dropped out. Do you want to rock this thing with me? And, you know, he does big stuff. Yeah. So he's like, no, that's too small for me. Right. And I was like, all right, I understand, you know. He's like, but I have a homie, you know. And that's how that came to fruition.
Nice, man.
So he flew here, and he's a great dude. We talked it up, and we made it happen. We pulled off 1 year. The next year, the county came. Bro, we had to take down the greenhouses, clear the property, everything. Oh. So right now, this property is paid off. Every penny is paid off, and it's just sitting empty with greenhouses on the ground.
Whoa. Damn. Well, in Grass Valley?
Yeah.
And you own the property?
Yeah. We.
Yeah,
me partner. And him, yeah.
Wow. So you can't get licensed in that property? Because they have some decent laws in that county, I feel like.
You could get licensed, it's going to be, but I mean, by the time you pay all that money and the permits and all the time with what the market's looking like.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it just doesn't even make sense.
It's not the time right now.
Not the time. I'm fucking tripping, bro.
Yeah.
I'll go there. Never mind.
It don't even make sense. Depths, it don't even make sense. So.
Unless you're growing them like Buck Mountain.
So bro, did you ever?
His shit's indoor outside.
Straight up.
He's got lights. He's got the whole $100,000 greenhouse.
His greenhouse are $300K each. He's got 3 of them.
100, yeah.
And he's got regular hoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
I pull up there and I'm just like, I can't even imagine doing that much work, bro. I'd be in a grave right now.
Right.
Savage, bro. He's got a good team, man.
Yeah.
So did you ever get to go out to Hawaii and peep the scene out there?
I was always a fan of Hawaii and Kauai in particular, the small island. The rainforest island, you know. My dad, he was a construction worker, carpenter.
Oh, no
and
shit,
so
nice.
when Hurricane Iniki hit the islands, he went out there and he rebuilt Kauai. So growing up, he was always talking about it.
Right.
So as soon as I had my first little bit of bread, me and my brother, we started dipping off to Kauai, and we've probably been there a handful of times now.
Nice.
I've never been to like the touristy, like Maui but I've been to the Big Island. I've been to Kauai many times. In fact, I had a dog named Hilo, which is one side of the Big Island, and my brother has a dog named Kona, is the other side of the Big Island. So,
nice.
Yeah,
yeah.
I love the islands.
Oh,
me too.
It's an amazing place, great energy, and just like I had one of my best birthdays there, man. Real talk, a year ago.
Yeah,
but that's cool, man. So, shout out your brother real quick, because I know I just learned that your brother is rose gold and he makes some fire ass rosin.
Yeah,
so let's talk about that for a sec, man.
I love him, bro. Like I probably owe my life to him because we pretty much have only had each other, you know.
Hell yeah, man.
Like I said, we're going through childhood when we have the same mom, different dads. So when my mom stopped with her visits with me, she had my brother. So actually, from like me being 13 to about 19, we didn't see each other. Ever.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and all the way until then, we were like best friends. Like, he was with me all the time. Like, I taught him numbers, alphabet, all that. You know, changes diapers.
How far apart are you?
Yeah,
we're 6 years apart.
Oh, okay. 6 years. Yeah.
So, and then my older sister, she's 6 years older than us.
Okay.
Or me. But yeah, basically, he was working at Round Table. Shout out pizza.
Shout out good pizza for a brand.
Yeah, Round Table's pretty good.
For a brand. For a chain.
For a chain.
Round Table.
It's alright. You high as hell. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking up a couple of slices.
Yeah. So he was working at Round Table in Gridley, living with our other homie who's on the squad now, Champo. He's one of the guys that runs one of the rooms for us, and also outdoor and stuff. So anyway, he was out there doing the Round Table and, you know, running around doing, I don't even know how old he was at the time, 18, 19, doing 20-year-olds, 18, 19, 20-year-old stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And I said, I was like, bro, why don't you come? I broke up with my girl, so I had a whole house by myself.
Right.
And I was like, bro, why don't you come in and we get you integrated with what we're doing? And so he came and he started living with me. He started going to college at Butte College, and he started learning basically just like the growing side of it. And at the time, we had a legal delivery. So he was doing the packaging. He was doing he was basically the manager of the delivery for the few years that we did it legally on the books and all that. And I remember how he got started in rosin was I was friends with American River, if you know
I know,
him.
yeah. I don't know him personally, but I've smoked his product. It's fine.
He's a great dude. And he's one of those dudes that's not a gatekeeper. He gives knowledge.
Right.
He shows love and like he helps people. So I really respect that about him. But he was doing rosin. And at the time, this is like, you know, quite a few years ago. I'm like, I don't even know what this is or how you do it or what you're making.
First, for sure.
Yeah. And I'm like, but people want it really bad. So he would come out to my farms in Nevada City on the Ridge. And he would prep everything and he would make rosin and stuff. So I started telling my brother, I'm like, you know, we could probably do all this like in-house.
Right.
Like eventually, you know, like with us.
Not that hard.
Yeah.
Compared to BHO.
It's less dangerous. It's less dangerous. Yeah.
Fact.
So it's hard in the sense that you're like a little Amish lady churning butter for like however long that is, you know?
Yeah.
It's tedious.
Yeah.
It's not easy, Charlie. It's not easy.
I don't even go in the room while he's doing it. 'Cause I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm working, bro. Like, so, American River was doing that. And then we go to an Emerald Cup back when the cups and all that stuff were cool, you know?
Yeah.
It was like medical days. And I see a Sasquatch guy, the Sasquatch guy.
Oh, remember those came out?
Yeah.
16, 17, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh.
We had one
What
of
are
those.
they doing? And I'm like, this thing's 4 bands or whatever. I'm like, all right, let me get one of these.
Yeah.
And now you're like,
Yeah, bro. We spent 3 or 4 years just fucking blowing out bags, failure after failure after failure.
Exactly.
I was
bro.
infamous for blowing out bags.
Oh my god, so frustrating, bro. We gave up on it.
Yeah.
And then
I did the same thing.
We gave up on it, bro.
Right,
and then
right.
American River was like, he's like, no, bro. He's like, let me come over and show your brother a thing or two, which is, dude, shout out American River. This is lost in the game.
Right.
Lost in the game.
Right,
the
man.
days of helping each other survive and learn the craft and get
The
better. at what
medical
you're doing.
model shit when it was like more communal. Yeah,
Just
we've
keep
talked
going, man.
about it many times on our show.
Damn
like,
every episode, man.
How it used to
That's
be
what I
more
miss because
communal.
I want to do
good.
it.
Yeah.
I want to do it now, and I'll get on there and I'll try to help people and I'll try to do things, and people will hit me up like games to be told or games to be sold, not sold, this and that. I'm like, bro,
Stop
I don't
it.
believe in that. I had OGs that saved me when I
Yes,
first started.
exactly.
You know what I mean? No one would be enjoying Greengold right now if an OG
Right.
didn't come and save me.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
know?
And you're not stopping my money.
No.
Like,
Bro,
me
all of us
giving
can
you
survive.
there's room for all of us.
is.
That's
All
why
of
I'm give the information. Like, you still got to go out and work for yourself and use it. Like,
Yeah, man.
Like, fucking A. Yeah, you
Nobody's buying
underestimate.
yachts and boats and cannabis. Let's just help each
Bro.
other, feed your family,
Hell no.
keep the fucking lights on. You know what I'm saying? And do what we love to do.
This kid, East Bay, right here. I love this kid. I support this kid. He's friends with my friend in Chico, who does all our tie-dyes for our clothes and stuff. And that's how I met him. And my homie's like, oh, meet my homie. He's growing like 4 lights. You know, this and that.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I didn't take him under my wing per se or anything, but like anytime I have a chance to like tell him anything or shoot a game, I do.
Exactly.
And like in my mind, I was just telling him the other day when I was talking to him, because he brought me this jar to smoke on. I was telling him, I'm like, bro, all of us, guys like you who have 4 lights and they love what they're doing and they pop seeds and they pheno hunt and they find cool shit and then people want to smoke it.
Yeah.
Every single one of those guys could survive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every single one of those guys could
Exactly.
live,
Oh,
bro.
God.
But it's
Hell yeah.
these like just the greed of this like corporate
Exactly.
conglomerate, like just, you know, grow as much as you can type mentality is just like,
But American River came and he gamed you guys up. Like,
yeah,
he
sorry,
gave
I'll
you
play it.
no worries.
That's all good.
That's why I'm here.
yeah, so thank you. Yeah, so American River pulled up to the spot in Grass Valley. He's like, let me come through. We'll take dabs. I'll just give your brother a crash course. Bro, it was maybe an hour. Maybe an hour and a half that he actually showed my brother a couple things, you know? He took off.
Off to the
Tight.
races.
That night he got home and he's like, and from that point on, it just kept getting better and better and better and better. And now it's to the point where, like, you know, I can humbly say, like, a lot of people come to us and they're like, it's the best, you know? Like, this is the best rosin that, you know, or they just like it the best because we do, like, papaya. We do, like, I try to find
Great
the best
flavor.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what's so good about rosin is the flavor.
I want to show you
So
this.
good. Yeah, can I see it, bro? Because I didn't want to, like, mess up the flow, but please pass
Here's
it
that
up.
Sour Wilson you were talking
Oh,
about.
bro, I've been eyeing this up since I fucking seen you guys growing it in flower. God.
We did the same thing. I bought a rosin press, a $5,000 joint. I bought the resonator, the keef maker that would
fucking
you could put 20
incredible.
pounds of product in
Yeah,
and
and it
it
tumbles
would
it?
tumbles it with the CO2 fucking. I think it was
Yeah.
called a resonator. I think I spent
Yeah.
like $6,200
Yo,
on
this
this
pink
thing.
lemonade
Like,
something else,
yeah. But it was just took so long, and we didn't have an American River that came through and kind of gamed us up. So we got to a point where we was like, that thing collected dust.
Real and genuine to me. Like, dude, thank him.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank him.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So my brother hooked you up. He gave you the cold cure, which he literally was up early this morning making, so I would have it ready.
Like wet, bro.
Yeah, and then this is the bubble of the pink lemonade.
Ooh.
Bro, the bubble might be the loudest because it's just like straight trichomes, you know?
Right.
Not split.
No, it is. It is.
Yeah, and then he made you some fresh press too.
And some fresh press?
He did this all in the last day because
God bless him.
this is how I am. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like here, there, and then I'm like, bro, I'm going on this podcast tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take some rose gold on there. I actually had to buy.
Yo, shout out to Rose Gold.
Yeah,
man.
shout out Rose Gold. That's my brother.
How does it-
My real brother, not you know.
Yeah, not like it's my brother. No, it's
Yeah.
his brother.
But yeah, we moved through everything so fast. I actually, Danky Clouds.
I do. Yeah,
I had to get
just
my
met him.
own bags and herb back from Danky Clouds to bring here.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. They say if you got a gift, give it away. That's why I never have any weed.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm always giving
And
handfuls here, handfuls there, and next
fresh
thing I know, I have no
press,
weed to smoke until next harvest.
Facts.
Bro, you just gave me
It was-
fresh press.
My brother gave you that.
Yo, your brother.
But I
thank
delivered.
You delivered. Cold cure.
Yeah. And the hash.
Full melt.
Full milk.
Jeez.
And the hash has gotten way more popular.
Fucks with you, bro.
So fucks with you, Rose Gold.
And straw pie.
And need you on the show, bro.
And rainbow bells.
Oh. Did we just become best friends?
Did we just because?
You want to do karate in the garage? Rose Gold? Yup. Good Lord.
He's a quiet assassin. I don't know if he could do a
see.
podcast.
If he comes out and talk, yeah.
Some
No
people,
way.
man, I respect it, bro.
Yeah.
Some people, like I invite a lot of people, right? And some people, like the traditional guys, are like, oh man, I want to, bro, but I'm not ready yet, man. It's cool, bro. Take your time.
For
No
me,
rush, no
bro,
rush.
for me, it's like I'm living one time. The worst of the worst could happen to me. I'd still get through it and just finish off my life. So it's like
Yeah,
it
it's
came
all
to a
good.
point where it's not even worth trying to. Me and Greenridge were talking about this the other day. Actually, Greenridge, shout him out. I try to be like him, bro. His grow rooms are super nice, clean. He's so blue collar, like up at 6, work until night. Like more people should be like him. But I was talking to him, and he was saying like how the longest time he never did the Instagram. He never posted a picture,
Yeah.
and we were all like that kind of.
Sure.
But nowadays it's like if you're not out there and you're not. People don't know about you. No one's
Yes.
coming to your door to pick anything up.
Exactly.
No, hell no. Especially now, man. It's just so saturated. You gotta have a brand behind your flower, man. I'm glad you do.
Exactly.
Bro, a brand is just your reputation, and the
let's-
reputation is having done this for 10 years, you know?
Damn right, bro. You're damn right. So
Exactly.
let's talk about real Northern California culture, man. 'Cause I
Yeah.
know we touched on that. Would you care to touch on that?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I think
Right,
it comes down to just like what American River did for my brother. That's the real culture.
Yeah.
That's the real helping each other. We're from the same place. We do the same thing. We can all live. We can all survive.
You're right. This thing is so communal here.
Yeah.
And it's so woven into who we are, even going back to the 80s and 90s when
real.
weed's always been, Humboldt's always been around Sacramento. There's always been grows from here to there.
Yep.
It's always been ingrained in what you always knew somebody and they told you how to do it. They
God.
told you what to do with your
incredible.
plants and shit in your closet. But even before, so you're right. It was like communal. It was help, and I think still is to a degree,
Depending on
like
who you
in
know,
the
who you fuck
nature.
with.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely. It's like when someone shows up and they're like, "Oh, I get these packs this cheap from the back door of the distro," and you're like, "We're not in the same ballpark.
Yeah, bro, right.
I'm in this community.
right.
Those guys are in that community. It ain't
Yeah,
the same
bro.
thing. Like you can't
We're not
even
even
bring
talking about
that to the
same thing.
door."
And that's super disrespectful. I've never in my life been like, hey, bro, well, I get these for that. Like, look, I came to you.
Yeah.
You have a product that I want. What
And
do
I
you
pay
want
my
for it?
own bills.
Yeah, what do you want for it, bro? If I think it's
Exactly.
too high, I might ask you for
Yeah.
it. Or I might
Yes.
ask you how many. Well, if I grab like 5, can we do something? You know what I'm
Bro,
saying? Like,
I love that. I'm never opposed to that.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta fucking respect the grower, man. Respect the grower.
Mm-hmm.
They grew the fire that makes you cool with your bags. You know what I'm saying? Especially white label guys. I'm a white label guy. Like, respect the grower, man.
Talking about you asshole buyers out there,
You feel me? Come on, man. Don't
big bag of money
Don't
and
come
like
at
just
the- don't come at
oh,
the traditional guys with the fucking distro.
I want
back
full
talk.
organic, just with your dumb demands, and you talk like you know more than the farmer in front of him, like just mad disrespectful, make everybody in the room want to slap you, but they don't for the most part, but they want to slap you. I'm just telling you guys now, if you're listening, they really want to be smacking you, and they're gonna pick up your phone call last, as opposed to everybody else who says either yes or no when they walk in.
Man, brokers be so out of pocket sometimes. It's not even funny.
Well, the problem is the broker's been broke for a while. So it's like, it's ugly out here.
When there's less meat on the bone,
Facts.
figure out how much of a dog people are sometimes. You know?
That's fact, bro. A couple people showed their hand in my circle the last couple months. I'm like, cool.
Bro,
Thank
same
you for
here.
showing me early.
Same here.
You know what I mean? And it's all good life, bro.
Middle class is shrinking everywhere.
Brokers will get a handful of packs from you and then try to control all the rest of your packs. It's like, bro, if you want to control what I do with the rest of my stuff, you should have just got it.
You want to just cash out. Clear me and then have all the show you want, pal.
They hit you with some shit like, oh, this guy's crisscrossing that guy, stepping on this guy's toes. I'm like, bro, I mess with like 2-3 people.
Yeah.
I don't know every single what goes on behind the scenes. Stop blaming the grower for what brokers are doing, bro. We're just in the field.
Yeah.
You know?
Instagram shit, bro. Yo, I seen my packs with bruh. Hold up, man.
My thing is
Who are you selling your weed to after you work so hard to grow it? Who the fuck are you selling?
For real.
Come on, are you serious? That's what it sound like.
It's a good subject that I don't think we've talked about a lot on this show, is the grower and broker relationship.
Yeah.
Because
should be etiquette.
it's great when it's good.
The
But a lot of times there's growers that hate brokers.
Yeah, bro.
But don't want to sell, but so they have to deal with them, and it's like a tent style relationship. Then there's ones that find, you find the good people to work with, and it's good. Yep. What have you been seeing? Not today, but in the past. What is your take on?
I would say,
that
like
dynamic?
I said, I only mess with like maybe 2 to 3 close people,
right?
And then outside of that, it gets spread around. And for me, I know, because I know what the guys I mess with are paying for other packs. I know that they pay a lot more for stuff that, in my opinion, is not as good.
Right.
But it has like what people want, or a name, you see some of this stuff and you're like, bro, you paid what for this just because it's that?
Yeah.
Because them.
So for me, it's like I feel like my price is very fair because I want the brokers to do my guys to do good,
right?
And I want them to make, and I want it to all flow. I want it to be an ecosystem.
Yes.
And what happens is, some of these brokers, they want to make more than you're making,
right?
And so, like for example, with the rosin, like bro, every once in a while, I'll see like people tag me on some rosin, and it's a year old.
Right.
I'm like, how the hell? I'm like, how much are you trying to sell each jar of rosin for that it sat around that long? Because the other broker is gone in one day.
Exactly.
And that's what I prefer. I prefer to give you a decent ticket, then you make a decent ticket, and like I said, it's an ecosystem and it's all flowing. Right. But when you're trying to make just way too much off of way too little,
right,
it just jams up the whole process. Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. People try to get out of town prices locally, and fucking like, bro, put your point on it and let it go.
Put your
point on it and let it go, bro.
My favorite thing is having the local. If I could only have the local guys, the local deliveries,
right,
with my stuff, that'd be perfect, But like, where we're from, like especially like where I'm from, it's not a high income area. No, you know what I mean? Right. So and like we try to have like a top end product, so the nature of that is it makes it to LA, it makes it to the Bay, it makes it to SAC.
Bro, your shit making it to Jersey, New York, bro.
That like, shit warms my heart, bro.
Bro, you have homies in Jersey saying, all right, so I'd count one dude in Jersey, Shout Commission, and one dude.
Commission, bro. Shout out him.
Shout Commission, and then another dude in DC, right? These fools say I only smoke Greengold LCG. I'm like, to hear that from my side of the map is fucking awesome for you.
Yeah,
but
bro.
like, damn, well, that's fucking dope, man. And like, you're really getting a name for it. And I'm looking, I'm like, yo, who the fuck you? So you only smoke? Who the fuck do you know?
Because,
but he told me he knew one of your mans. I'm like, how are you? I just met you today, and you tell me that plugged up that you only smoke Greengold LCG where you're from. Who do you know? But he knew one of your boys.
Shout out LTD.
Yeah, that was him.
Shout out LTD.
Yeah, that was him. That was him. Yeah.
He's the youngest.
That's who plugged it. Yeah.
He's out here.
He's
like,
a young gunner, man.
He's barely able to drink
I
a
don't know,
beer, and he's
I don't
out
know him
hustling
personally,
most of these brokers, bro.
But I'm seeing him work. That's cool, man. That's cool. Hell yeah. So,
I think the thing is with the LCG is there's just so much fake LCG
bro.
or gelato this or gelato that.
How are you growing it, bro? Are you growing it in on soil, cocoa?
Yeah,
living soil. Like,
my growing system is I use King's Mix soil and I use Mills nutrients. I mean, it's
Mills
one of the more
Mills.
it costs a bill too. It's one of the most expensive nutrients, but like because it's good.
Right.
You know what I mean? You use this cheap stuff and not going to say any names or whatever. But like you use this cheap stuff that's cheap and easy, what's your product going to be like? You know, it's going to come out smoking like tires and
Shout out to the Monsanto weed out there.
So like I think it's the game's not that crazy, and that's one thing that like really annoys me is people that think that you have to have a specific strategy or you have to follow their game plan or their recipe or they're selling these recipes or there's some snake oil shit going on.
That shit all the time.
And it's like bro,
there's not 5 ways to get to this 10.
Bro, I got rooms and they're all different rooms. You know, I got LEDs. I got HPS.
No shit.
I got So I got a room of
You're fucking around.
I prefer it's just a couple.
good.
It's
No,
small,
that's cool,
humble.
man.
Like honestly, 2 of my rooms are 9 lights.
Okay.
But
9-light
did
rooms.
you just want to learn every process or what made
exactly.
because most guys do get a method and then expand it.
For me it's art, bro. For me it's art. Think about a painter. Does a painter ever try to stop learning?
No,
Right.
no.
New techniques, new brushes, new
Right.
paint, new canvas, going new places, seeing new things. So for me, it's art, and I think that's what separates us. Honestly, is like we want to like our bags are art.
Right.
The weed is art.
Right.
You know, so for me, it's like I mean, like this year, I wanted to bring out more terps for the rosin. So I'm seeing a lot of these guys use like these fruit ferments. So they're fermenting fruit. Like back in the day, there was a product Sugary. I don't know if it's still around anymore, but it was like carbs and sugars, and it was expensive, and you water it in. And so you're basically making your own Sugary, you know? So I'm making these ferments, and I got people in the DMs like, oh, you're a KNF farmer now?
Yeah, right.
You're this, you're that? I'm like, bro, I'm an artist, bro. I'm just trying this, I'm trying that. I'm still using my nutrients.
And what's wrong with KNF? Nothing wrong with KNF.
But no, people want to narrow you down is what I'm saying.
And put you in a box. Exactly.
Like one specific box. And it's like, no. I use ferments, I use organics, I use synthetics, I use everything. You know, like I pay attention to the plant.
Now, do you do these for different purposes? Do you know I do these lights better under LED? I mean, these plants work better under LED. Do you? Is there a method to your madness, or you just kind of picking?
There's definitely
what's
a method to the madness, but there's a curiosity to just want to see everything too. But what I've noticed is the LEDs, they make big buds, higher yield. I mean, no heat. So your ACs aren't running as much. You're saving on the bill. They're less amps.
Bill, for sure.
You're saving on the bill with the amps. But in my humble personal opinion, I still think HPS makes an overall prettier, more... the only way I can explain it is more gooey.
Right.
Like the for
Moist,
some reason to me, the LED seems to make a bigger, yieldier bud that's pretty, but the HPS seems to make somewhat of a smaller, gooier, just
perfect
like that
nug.
bud you would think Snoop Dogg would have in his bag. You know what I mean? Looking bud. So that's the difference for me. Other than that, you know, with the LEDs you got to pay more for dehumidification because you have less heat burning off the moisture in the air. You have more moisture in the air.
Right.
Yeah. Whereas the HPS, they're burning off that moisture in the air. So your AC is running more, dehum's running less.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like I said, I'm not really a science or numbers guy too much, but it probably evens out somewhat.
Right.
So that's why I say it's like anyone that's selling recipes or it has to be like this or it has to be like that. Like I'm like, this fucking guy.
You turn out this fucking guy.
Yeah, exactly.
This fucking guy.
If you think you found something that was perfect, would you just run with that, or would you stay an artist and keep?
I would probably, you know, run for a while, which is what I do. And like, you know what I mean? We figure out something we like, and we're like, oh yeah, let's do this for a while, and then you get bored. You know,
right?
You're like, oh well, you know, let's try this, let's try that, and you know, it's like
cool, man.
It's like right now, it's like we have a room we're pulling down today. And my boy's like, oh, you know, our runoff is 1,000 ppms, and we like to get the runoff like as low as we can before we harvest, you know.
Right.
And I'm like, well, it's ready to harvest. Let's chop it. Let's do an extra long cure. You know, let's do our thing, and then we'll know like if it's bullshit about people saying you got to have all the ppms flushed out, or you got to be flushing it with CalMag and this and that, and your ppms are high. You know.
Right.
So like, for
what
me,
did you find? Because that's a big one right now with the whole white ash thing.
Yeah.
What nutrients are still present in the finished flower?
Yeah.
That makes it burn hotter to give you a whiter ash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I do know what you're saying, and I don't know the whole science behind it, but I'll tell you this.
I nerd out on that shit.
Yeah,
so I'm always
no.
looking for your opinion.
Yeah, I've been hearing like, and it's come on lately, right?
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's like
big
all
time.
of a sudden. You know?
This last year it's been going fucking nuts.
So for me, it's like I've had white ash 5 different ways. You know, it's so many different methods. So I'm just like,
and
like I said, I don't think there's one specific way.
I don't necessarily do either. And check this out, right? I roll a joint of some snacks. Shout out to Preferred. 2 nights ago, this motherfucker burned whitest, and it was super fresh. Burned super white, drippy, crazy. I rolled one yesterday, and I noticed it wasn't a nice as a roll. And I was kind of in a rush to get out the door, go meet Ted. Shout out to Ted Liddy, Alien Labs.
To Theodore.
I pull up on him. I pass him. He's like, damn, this is burning like shit. I'm like, bro, I know it looks like it's burning like shit, but it's not fucking with my throat. I'm enjoying it. Tastes good. And last night, the shit was crazy.
Here's the thing, bro.
He's like, I know weed's weird, right? I was like, fucking weed is weird, man. I don't get it.
Here's the thing. Instagram and reality are different.
You motherfucking right.
Instagram and reality are different.
You goddamn right.
You got guys on Instagram, they're lighting their joints with a freaking blowtorch. They're holding it upside down so that you get a resin ring.
there is a method.
They're doing all kinds of stuff, and then they're putting it on there. And for me, that's cool and all, right? I repost the shit when it's other people smoking my shit.
Right.
I'm not going to sit home and do all this formula and try to make my shit look like that. If someone reposts my shit burning hella good, that's what I post. You know what I mean? Because as far as I'm concerned, that's all cosmetic. You know what I mean?
Could be.
What matters is if people see your stuff burning like that, and then they get it and it don't burn like that, that's your brand. You know what I mean? You need your reputation to exceed what people think it is, not be below what people think it is.
You do.
Thanks.
And so...
And my homie, shout out Proper Doinks, they explained this pretty well when they're on the pod. We'll be dropping that episode soon. And the way they explained it, it was just like, there's all these check boxes, right? And white ash falls at the end, and it's almost because, well, hey, what we noticed was, what do you know? When all these check boxes check out, the ash is white.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like kind of the last thing they're looking for. So it's just like, that's where they get the whole, how does it smoke?
Well, and it's the last moment of the process, right? Man. You grow and you have this whole long process, and then your ash is dictated by how you finish and cure.
Right.
And they love your LCG, bro.
Yeah. And that's like,
bro,
it's fight term, that's like a great camp and a bad weight cut.
Yeah.
And then you got to go into a fight. Then you lose
that's
35% of what you just put in that 8 weeks on. And fucking your product is suffering at the end.
You shit the bed at the end.
At the very end.
We got OTs hitting us now like, yo, could you just send a picture or a video with the ash while you smoke? I'm like, fuck, bro, this weed is so fire and it's salt and pepper as fuck, and you're not going to buy it, bro? What are you doing?
And if they leave the bag open and they live in Maine or Rhode Island or something, and that bag gets some moisture, it ain't going to burn like that no more.
You feel me? Like,
it's got to be that same cure.
Goofy, bro.
And now, fucking JP, you built up a reputation.
Yeah.
Because you are a snob.
Yeah.
So if I'm telling you it's some fucking fire, you should be listening to me.
Yeah, bro.
Because I have that ear. I have that nose.
Yeah.
Like, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So a little peppery, it's fire, I'm telling you.
It smokes cool,
That
bro.
should mean more coming from a Good Pizza Podcast fucking host and member.
If it's peppery and smooth, it's better to me than being bone white and not smooth.
I'm smoking bone white shit recently that burned like shit. I put it out after a couple pulls, bro. Like,
burned white, though.
And I'll say
this.
I'll say this on record right now. I smoked my LCG next to what someone else calls LCG, and they have a recipe that is supposed to be like the bone white recipe.
Right.
And I posted it on my story, and I just said, which one's the Greengold one? Right. And I don't have no recipe for the flush. I do the flush like I was taught to do the flush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You do a full
and
flush, tapered flush?
Yeah, so we taper the nutrients down till we get to the end, and then basically we actually physically try to flush So with the mills, it's red. It's like a purple red, like when you mix it. So when you're flushing it out, you see it starts bright red, it gets light red, then it gets clear. And when it's clear, hey,
we're good to go.
Cool. You know? So that's, I mean, it's simple to me. And so that's how we do it. And our stuff was burning much more white, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to, you know, brag about it or anything. I'm just saying, like,
it is what it is.
If you're selling a recipe, it should burn whiter than the guy that doesn't have a recipe.
Right.
You know?
And is that something you've had to think about now because that white ash argument is so prevalent in the last year or two, really, where everybody started talking about it?
Right.
Like, is that something you have to think about now?
Absolutely. Now it's like, oh, we have to hit that.
Yeah.
We have to hit that mark.
So,
but at the end of the day, you're growing, and that's where like the ego growers and like the narcissistic growers get to me is like, no run is perfect, bro.
Right.
There's always challenges, always problems. And you're only as good as your last harvest anyways.
Right.
So if you think you're an ego guy and a narcissistic like grower where you're the best of the best, you're going to have a bad harvest eventually.
This game can be
You know what
very
I mean?
unforgiving, man.
Yeah.
And I almost
Very
feel like
unforgiving.
when we haven't too much touched on it, but I almost feel like you got a lot of lessons from fighting.
Absolutely.
Because, and I've been working with fighters, and I probably know a lot of the same guys you know, and fucking, I managed fighters for a few years, a bunch of the guys around SAC. Shout out to Max Griffin and
I know Max.
Anthony Fluffy Hernandez.
I love Fluffy. I trained with Fluffy before.
Oh, yeah. Fluffy is my client.
Fluffy's a dog,
and
bro.
it's a
His
beast.
fight. Oh, my God, bro. His last,
Fluffy
like, 4 or 5
really
fights,
has a shot. Like,
bro, he can beat anybody.
and he has the gas tank for
got a gas
his
tank?
division. His
got Wild
division
Reserve?
doesn't have gas tanks
Oh,
like
shit.
him. He
What division
runs
is he
in
in?
185.
185? Oh,
And
nice.
he
Nice,
runs
nice.
like.
Shout out Fluffy. I want to train
55.
with you, bro.
Shout
I
out
want you to
Fluffy.
beat my ass, bro. It looks fun.
I
Yo,
love
that's how I know
Fluffy.
you're a fighter. You don't care about getting in the ring, sparring.
Nah,
taking
that shit's fun.
Yeah, and all the
Because it
guys
makes
are
you better.
good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Tyler Diamonds, the guys from over in your side.
I ain't even going to go there, but
Fucking.
I can't even go there, actually. One of the
he's-
guys I was telling the stories about, he fought Tyler Diamond.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, but I ain't going to say which person or nothing because it'll get... But yeah.
How'd you
He fought...
what did you learn from martial arts?
Bro,
Because I think that's a part of your story that should be touched upon
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Yeah, let's talk
How
about
did
that.
you get into fighting and like even the taking fights and that side?
Yeah.
Where'd that come into your life?
Well, first of all, this could be a never-ending topic because, like, I feel like, you know, the art of fighting you can compare to anything and everything
Right.
can be analyzed. And
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
So fighting, I got into it, like I said, with my same friend that got me into growing. And my coach, he had a barn out in Red Bluff by the river, and that's where we would train. And he raised roosters, and he raised like fighting roosters. We all got rooster tats. I got my rooster tat right here.
Fuck yeah, part of the tribe.
Yeah, dude was like a ninja. He'd be like, watch the roosters, watch how they do this, watch how they do that. Use their neck and push and then kick and
Oh no shit.
yeah, bro. Because the roosters, they'll come up and they'll put their necks on each other and they'll start battling like that with their necks. And it's a lot like dirty boxing when you
Almost
get
like
in tight.
you're fighting inside.
Yeah, so when you
Boxing,
get
yeah.
in tight and you shoulder check them, now you got the angle, bam, hit them. And roosters
Exactly.
do the same thing.
Roy Jones wasn't lying when
Yeah.
he was talking about roosters
Yeah.
and taking shit, and he had the rooster punch and like shit he got from
Think
his
about it, bro. Animals been fighting way before we were fighting. And a
what they
rooster
do,
is
bro.
the oldest animal. Chickens are the oldest animal. They've been around a while.
Yeah.
So
That's tight, bro.
that's where I learned was in that barn. And
How old were you when you started training?
22. Or I started training when I was 18. First fight was when I was 22.
Okay, cool.
And it was a very organic process. Like I said, like there was a lot of things I wasn't good at. And then when my coach was like, yo, you're like good at fighting. I was like, fuck. Like, why I gotta be good at the hardest thing? You know what I mean? I gotta be good at like getting punched in the face.
And if
Right,
anybody
right.
tells me I'm good at something, I have to do it now.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, my coach, when he told me, I knew because he
Yeah.
was a pro fighter.
Right.
He was undefeated heavyweight.
Oh,
he was
nice.
actually supposed to fight Vanderlei Silva. He had a lot of history. I train in Chico now, and the guy that owns the gym in Chico was on my coach's team.
Oh, nice.
And they were with the Shamrocks and everything.
Nice.
And they were all in the same house
Damn.
at the beginning, I believe, of AKA.
That's raw.
They were all
Yeah.
in a house together, and there's some crazy stories about my coach that I know he will not like me telling him, so I'm not going to.
Oh, really?
But
Yeah,
he's got some history, bro.
Yeah.
And
Nice, bro.
I got an MMA podcast too. You can come on that show.
You should.
You can come on that show.
But he went to the Olympics twice for boxing. He was gold gloves champ twice. He was blue and gold champ, which I think is out of Oregon.
Right.
And so he was a badass.
He had some pedigree, yeah.
Dude. And he was born and raised in Costa Rica, running through the jungle, and so he's wild. You know?
Right.
Yeah. For sure.
So I learned from him, and honestly, like, you know, I know we touched on, you know, growing up and stuff, but like, I never had anybody that like believed in me or even like a fatherly figure all the way until that point. So when he took me in,
That's big.
it was like, bro, I'll die.
Yeah,
I'll
for this motherfucker place.
Like, if you think that that's what I can do, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember my friends were all fighting, and fuck, I shouldn't even tell this story, but
we want to hear it.
Yeah, it was
Hit us.
So I was born and raised in Gridley, and the night that I decided I was gonna fight, my homie was fighting in Gridley, and he was fighting a guy he wasn't supposed to beat, Diamond. And what ends up happening is I'm telling myself in that moment, I'm like, man, he's got all the chips stacked against him. 99% of the crowd is there for Diamond. He's a local guy, this and that. I'm like, if my homie pulls this off, I'm going to fight.
Right.
You know? And it was an all-out war to the very end, split decision. We're standing there in the ring, and my homie wins.
What?
Shit, bro. I'm like, now I got to.
No fight.
Because in your mind, it's like divine, right?
Yeah, sure.
And shout out Diamond. That didn't affect him at all. He went pro. He went to UFC. He did all his
He's
stuff,
doing his
bro.
thing.
He
Shout out Tyler Diamond.
Yeah. But that was his first loss.
Right.
And it was my homie's
I remember it.
undefeated. You were there?
I was in the gym at that time. I remember when he was
Benito?
undefeated.
Benito
and
there?
I remember
Powell?
Benito's my man. I love Benito.
Yeah, I love Benito.
still work with Andre Feely a lot.
Feely's a dog.
Josh Emmett's my man.
Bro,
like,
he's a dog. He fought our coach at our gym, Kiba, Brandon Rossetti.
Oh, no
They
shit.
fought at West Coast, I believe.
And McClellan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might
and
have
so
been there.
You'll notice Jamie knows everybody you know.
that's cool.
I'm on the way over here talking to Premium Pete. Shout out Premium Pete. He's
Shout
like,
out to Pete.
You know, saying he's like, you know Jamie Jones? I'm like, bro, fucking my podcast is in his studio. What are you talking about? It's even fucking 5 minutes.
3,000 miles away.
Brooklyn, New York. Fuck, man.
No, that's
crazy.
what's up.
Now they're
But
broken
yeah,
But
but
that's
I
dope.
mean, I wanted to hear this part of your story,
that's
how
cool.
the fighting came into
glad
your
you
life,
did.
because you are kind of, I mean, you had kind of a nomadic lifestyle. And what I see with fighters is it brings a lot of structure to those type of
they need it.
mentality. People who don't have a person telling them what to do and things like that. This kind of gives them some structure to their life.
I didn't
and-
know discipline. I didn't know heart. I didn't know love, respect,
shit.
nothing before a fight. Bro, I was a lost kid.
Right.
Honestly, my coach is like an angel because we were all lost kids.
Right.
Nice.
I can name everyone on our team. We were all kids, and if you look back at our histories, they're probably very similar.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why we resonated with him, and he was like kind of like a godfather to all of us.
Still
He
phase,
was.
yeah.
Is still, you know.
Bro.
But
Your
yeah,
sensei is like a father figure to you.
absolutely.
I remember my sensei from back in the day, bro. Like, God rest his dead. Like, they're larger than life.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah, that's what made me want to fight. Is like I can't lose with him behind me.
Yeah.
If he's walking me out,
Thanks.
I'm winning.
And
bro.
and the great part about it is a lot of times they come from a background like yours.
Yeah.
A lot of times fighters come
Yes.
from kind
And he
of
did.
so they really can speak like you. They really know your
Resonate.
story. It's not like a drill sergeant. It's like someone who understands. They'll talk to you like a drill sergeant, but
What's up?
they really understand what you're coming from and
Right.
know when to be soft and when to be hard.
Exactly.
Like,
They know
Exactly.
they know what to say to make an image in your head make sense. You know, you could teach someone to kick a million times.
Yeah.
But like one thing he told me, he just watching me kick for a long time one day, and he's like, you know what? He's like, you know when you crank the hose on when it's empty and it goes all the way to the end and it whips around and snaps at the end with that
Right.
pressure? He's like,
Yep.
that's how I want you to kick. And I was just like my mind blew. I was like,
Say
whoa. I was like,
Whoa.
that's how it goes, you know. And like with your straight punches, he'd be like, imagine that your shoulder, your elbow, and your hip are all connected on a steel bar, and your power is coming from the ground. You want everything moving at the same
Exactly.
time
Yep.
and going right down the pipe straight.
Yep.
And so stuff like that is just like only a guy that's gone to the Olympic, only a guy that's like actually done it, can tell you.
And can make it like kindergarten for you, where it's easy to understand.
With great analogies.
Exactly, great metaphors.
Yeah. Hell yeah, bro.
Bro, we would do months where he's like, you ain't throwing nothing but a jab for this whole month.
Yep.
Until your jab is right.
Fact. Shout out to Coach Joey Rodriguez. Motherfucker would have me just doing
the fight, I love the fighting chapter of your life. I see you still training. That's fucking awesome. Still staying dangerous. Let's talk about some of the strains you got, bro. So we got the LCG, lemon cherry gelato, fucking fire, straight candy. The Wagyu. Did I say that right? Wagyu?
We call it A5. Everyone else started calling it Wagyu, so we're like, hey, whatever people want to call it.
I call it A5 Wagyu.
Yeah.
So I put both on my menu.
You know how strains are, though. There's a Wagyu out there, so we call it A5. You know,
gotcha.
I don't care what people want to call it.
And then we got the BTZ, right? All fire. I love them all. If I were to go in my preference, that LCG's it's so fucking good. Because I like candy, but I like real candy. You know what I'm saying? Shit's so watered down. Then I would go BTZ, so it's so unique, bro.
Right.
And
what is BTZ?
Yeah, what is BTZ?
What are the letters?
BTZ. Okay, so
let's hear the little story.
So the simplest way I can put it, because without getting involved in any drama or anything, is it's a pheno of Skittles times gelato.
Okay.
But the BTZ name came about when shout out, Obsolete, Wizard of Obs. He's one of the guys that made me who I am, essentially. Like almost every like cool strain that made me popular was something he gifted me out of his heart, which is very rare. And also he's led me along the way with so much stuff, and he's taken cuts of my stuff and bred with it, and he's bred some of the stuff that was the biggest shit in the world at the time: orange cookies, orange apricot, stuff like that, stuff that Jungle Boys and Compound bred with. Anyways, he's in the room, and we're trying to think of a name for this Skittles gelato cross. And he's smelling it, and he's like, "It's like Zope, but it's like better than Zope." And he's all BTZ, and it just stuck. But we didn't want to offend anybody.
Right. Shout out to Theo.
We didn't want to offend anybody.
It just smelled better. That's
all I'm saying.
I enjoy it.
I don't know why that is, because I've seen
it. Does remind me of Zope. It's not as colorful. Does it get color? Can you get it color? Real good?
Is it here?
Like, I don't know how long you've been running it, or if you played with the rooms, the temperatures and shit.
No, it gets purple.
Okay. Because I had shout out Turkey Bag Tom. He only had a little bit to give me.
Yeah.
So I had a bunch of small.
We could roll some up too.
Oh hell yeah.
So that's how it got the name, and then this is all you, anyways.
No, thanks, bud.
But to me, I was like, it smells like laundry detergent, but like a sweet laundry detergent.
It's got a soapy smell, bro. Like,
yeah. And so
you're sure that's what the genetics are?
I'm positive because I know. Okay, we're gonna get a little more in depth because I feel like we're in a gray area here.
Talk your shit. So
let's go.
Okay, so this strain came to me through a friend, and it came to me with like 3 other strains, and basically the person. First of all, my buddy paid several racks for these strains. Like he pays several racks to get like good stuff.
Right.
Sure.
Well, the guy that sold it to him took his money and then tells him, basically he starts hating on him for him giving it to me, which really we give each other, me and this friend, we give each other almost all our strains just in case one of us loses it. We have it back up. It's like, this is like, that's
teamwork
the real
makes
culture
the dream work. Exactly.
Yeah. So this dude who's selling these cuts by the buttload anyways is offended that like, I got it. So he starts telling everyone online, dude, this is, okay, I'm not gonna say female behavior, but it is not man behavior to be posting.
Let's say
I'm not even gonna like say it's female behavior because that's rude to females.
Yeah.
But it's not man behavior to be posting screenshots and personal conversations and your drama online, bro.
Yeah.
So he's posting personal conversations, names,
shit.
all this stuff online about this guy gave this guy this cut, and he ends up saying online like, "Oh no, those aren't the real cuts; those are bootleg cuts." So I'm like, "All right, it's a bootleg cut. I'm gonna call it whatever I want."
Just say less, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it whatever I want. You ain't getting no more credit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So my buddy paid several racks for it, and you're gonna tell him it's bootleg because I got it? Well.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
So I can name it then, right?
Now it's BTZ.
Now it's BTZ. Let's compete.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We could have been friends.
And the A5.
It's not even competing because it's not his cut.
Right.
Like he got it
exactly
from the source.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's that. You know who you are.
And the A5 you got from the homie Watson.
Watson, bro.
My dog, man.
He's like Greenridge, man. Those are,
That's
they
my
say you
fucking
want to
dog.
hang out
That's
with
my
people that are
cuisine.
better than you, right?
Right.
I can honestly say those
bro.
guys they're better than me in their discipline, and their grow rooms are dialed in, and like those are guys I want to be like, bro.
Right.
With my own flavor.
Dude.
Damn
I'm
right.
doing some good work with Dustin coming up, man. I'm really excited, bro. In the rec market, bro.
I love
We're
him.
gonna fuck some shit up, bro.
I got the
Can't
Moonbow
wait.
cut waiting for him right now. He wants to
Oh,
breed with
hell
that
yeah.
Moonbow 112
Hell
or whatever.
yeah. Oh, you got the 112?
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
I got the
Hell yeah.
112 from the same homie who got in trouble for me getting the other
I'm
cuts.
gonna be doing some work with the Rainbow Belts 3.0, which is, it's kind of in there. Whatever. Oh, sorry, dude. Thank you, brother.
You want this?
Yeah, hit it one time. So that's dope, man. So where are you in terms of the brand career mission? What's the next 5 years looking like for you, man? What's next for Greengold?
Honestly, man, I wish I knew,
And that's okay.
For me, it's day to day. Like, you never know what's going to happen. I say this.
Work with the plant forever?
I want to work with the plant forever, but I'll say this. Like, I used to be super goal orientated as far as like, I need to make this much. I need to do this much. I need to get here. I need to do there.
Yeah.
And I've tried as hard as I can, and I've seen things work, and I've seen things not work, and it's not up to you.
Yep.
Life is going to unfold how life is going to unfold. So for me, I'm going to keep my nose down. I'm going to try to stay humble, do the best I can do. And like I said earlier, it's like, if you have a gift, you give it away. If I have a gift, this is what I'm going to do as long as people want it. And
you want it, bro. Keep gifting.
yeah, and I think people are way too serious about this game, bro. Like, they let their physical health go. They let their mental health go. They let their relationships go. They let everything go for what?
I know.
True.
Well, you're doing it for the love, bro. Like, and that's what this plant's all about, bro. It's about love. It's about, healing. It's fucking medicine. You know what I'm saying? And like, people do get caught up in the Instagram and the fucking. You even see like the baller part of this game, like the chains and the fucking.
Right. Yeah.
It's like a rap video and shit. Like, what the fuck's going on, man?
Well, it's like they made the business so hard now that you have to focus a lot more on the business side of things nowadays because the margins are so small and like it's harder in today's inflation and economy that like it gets rough and the guys have to be this goal and they get caught up in it where they can't be the flower guys that got them into it. You know what I mean? And that's sad. It's good that you're keeping that mentality, actually.
I love that, bro.
Well, I think
It's a beautiful thing, man. It shows in your work.
I think there's been a purification of the game, right?
Let's talk about that.
You've seen. I wouldn't even venture to say the percent of people that have fallen off, but it's more than it's not of people that have fallen off recently.
Facts.
And
Bro.
and I can just equate that to you didn't want to grow weed as much as you wanted to work a day job.
Mm.
So how much did you love it?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
If you're making the same amount as you're making doing a day job, why aren't you still growing weed?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can grow weed and you can make a humble living.
Yep.
But people dipped out once you stopped like getting a new Tacoma every year and stuff.
Yeah, you couldn't move. You didn't move 5 boxes this year.
Yeah,
True.
and
You know what I'm saying?
so
You moved a couple 20 packs.
and
we
it's
had
unfortunate everyone that's not around or that whatever happened. I understand you can lose properties, you can lose things that take you out of the game, right? But my buddy Urban Buddha, one of my best friends, and
Oh, that's the homie, man. Shout out to him.
we were on the ridge
Shout out.
together. I love that guy like a brother.
Oh, we're nice.
Yeah, and he was on another farm, but we met up there at the reception spot, bro. It was the first time I seen him. I'm like, I recognize this dude from IG.
Yeah.
But anyways, he was telling me, he's like, bro, he was like, I was almost ready to quit the game too. He's like, telling me honestly. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. And he's like, but then I thought like, I already got 10 years in. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to go do something else for 10 years just to get as good as I am right now at doing this.
Run this shit up to the moon, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm 25 plus in this shit. Like, what the fuck am I going to do? I mean, I could do anything, but like, I don't want to.
Yeah, well, that's how I feel too. I was like, yeah, if it doesn't work out, I
don't even want to retire.
do whatever.
Like, I used to be like, yeah, I'm going to retire 60. I don't want to retire. I want to sell weed forever. Crazy?
Like
Love this shit.
It makes me
You know what I'm
happy,
saying?
So the moment that it
Yeah,
doesn't
man.
make you happy or it's causing, that's what I
There
don't
you go.
understand. If these guys that are stressed and they're drama online, it's like, bro, what are you even doing it for?
Right.
You're not happy doing it.
Right.
And like the business side is in its infancy. Like there's no Pepsis, there's no 100-year, there's no Budweisers. These companies these 200-year industries. This is 10 years in. Like I was saying it 5 years ago when we had Can Accelerate, our resource center around the corner. A lot of the companies that are big now aren't going to be here in 5 years. And look at it. In 5 years, a lot of these guys are falling off because we're still in that early years of one mistake. I grew Blue Dream this year and I fucked up. And now I'm out of business. You know what I mean? That year after.
17, 18.
That year after, it was like, oh, we fucked our shit up. So, and with the erratic business and all that shit, fuck it. It's better to nose down, stick to the plant. Like, fucking make the best product. It's great that you're putting your name out now to make your reputation because that's where it's going to be. His reputation is going to run. And the fact that you have the time built in, the 10 years, the 15 years that you've already been rocking, it's good to capitalize on that reputation with the rosin and the flowers. So, I think you have the right idea.
My thing is, too, like, I want all my homies to feel what I feel as far as, like, having a product that people want. That's like with my brother, I feel like a lot of people would have just made Greengold rosin.
Right.
No, bro. No. You do your own thing, and have your own thing that you can be proud of and you can create.
But Gold kept it in the family.
And you think about all the guys that are like, you got to be under my name.
Yeah.
What?
True.
Yep.
Everything's got to be them,
Yeah, exactly. Wow. No, like, yes, watching you win makes me feel good as well. Not jealousy, not hater mentality. No, I can be happy for your
he
success.
should do better than me. He's younger than me
and
in the newer thing.
And that's what you want for your kid or your younger, the next generation.
Where I peak, you begin. That's what I say about my kids. Bro. Like, where I'm at my max, that's where you start.
You take off with that.
Yeah, man. Well, check this out. We're going to take a real quick pee break because I'm about to bust. So we're just going to cut it real quick.
Same shit. I learned it here.
It keeps the cherry cooler.
Gotcha.
I learned
so it's
cherry
burning slower.
it burns slower and it'll evaporate it'll vaporize the tree and evaporate the terps versus burning it.
Right.
So you get, like, you ever smoke a joint in the wind? And that motherfucker's hot, it's spicy, and then you just lit it.
Bro, yeah.
So now we're inside, smoking a joint like some gentlemen with no wind, in a good atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? And
Joints in the wind.
It burn joints in the wind, bro. I never knew that. I never knew that, but and I always knew they tasted like shit. So anyway, we're rolling. We back. So check this out. We're gonna ask you a couple questions that my cousins are gonna want to know about you. You got any cool fucking? Or what do you know that the industry should know, man? You got any, like, mysteries we should debunk or something that people should know that you know?
Cannabis myth.
Cannabis myths, busters.
You get rich overnight.
I don't know.
White ash.
I think the mysteries, there's just no mystery, bro.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
There's a good one.
That's the way to think about it.
But
then that's not a cool way to think about it, though, because
elaborate
you know what I mean? That's just how I would think about it.
Hey, there's no right or wrong answers.
No, there's definitely wrong answers. For sure. Yeah, but
I'm trying to throw him a lifeline.
Okay, let me put it like this: like, if you do things the right way, you know what I mean. You can do it however you want. Like, that's just life in general. Just do it the right way, I guess.
Yeah.
There's actually, I got a flag one time in Hawaii, and I didn't even know what it said on it, and then I got it home, and like I looked it up because it was all in Hawaiian or whatever.
Yeah.
And it said, "The land is perpetuated in righteousness," and that's like a Hawaiian phrase for saying, like, the land lives on and is prosperous as long as you're righteous. People are righteous.
Okay.
So I think for me, like, I've gotten to so many points where it was like, broken. You're broken. You're rated in this place or that place or whatever happens.
Yeah.
But just trying one more day, I guess.
Yeah, right. I like it.
That would be the mystery for me of, like, trying to figure everything out.
And doing with good intention.
Yeah, good.
With intention. We're with intention.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I didn't even realize I was lit till, like, the last 30 seconds, bro. I was trying to piece that together.
Oh, it's all good, bro. Shout out to Dave for the snacks. The snacks is fire. So let me ask you this. Give me your 3 top strains of all time.
To me, obviously.
To you.
Yeah.
But one's an old school strain that you grew up on. One's a desert island strain you can only smoke for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And one's some new shit you fucking with.
Oh, this is fun, bro. I would say back in like the medical days, I had a key lime in Mendocino at a place that's not even there anymore. I think it was called Urban Legend or Lovin' It was another one in Mendocino, one of those places.
Okay.
And I remember smoking that one, and it was just like at that time it was the most lime spot on flavor. You know how we're like spoiled with flavors now. Everything's just like, oh, that tastes good.
Yeah.
Okay, that was like one of the first times I was ever like, whoa,
Right.
that tastes like a fucking sweet sugary lime, you know?
Yep. Like blueberry was back in the day, right? Some shit
Dude,
like
you
that.
beat me to it.
Yeah,
My strain from high school was blueberry.
That's
bro.
all I had. That's the only reference I had
God.
from a kid. Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, then from, like you said, from high school, it was just like those little blue balls that, you know, they were never big buds. They were just all these little blue balls, it seemed like, of blueberry that tasted and smelled like blueberries.
Yeah.
And then on an island, it would definitely be, as it sits right now, I could probably smoke like LCG forever. The real LCG.
Nice.
And honestly, people are going to be like in the comments like,
What?
fuck this guy. But they haven't.
No right or wrong
I don't
answers,
think
bro.
they've just
This
had
is your
the
truth.
real one,
Look,
you know?
Fuck them. You on the island by yourself, bro. You ain't even gonna hear what they're saying.
It's
You
just
feel
so
me?
smooth and fucking, it tastes good, you know? I can't think of any. And the high is very like,
High's good, bro.
the high is happy, creative. So it's like,
Yeah, man.
that's the only thing I
It's
could
happy,
smoke all the
creative.
time if I had to only have one kind of high, you know?
And it's a good mixture too. If you
Yeah.
find the right mix, like with some Z or some Banger, like I've mixed some really nice mixtures with that. We can't do that on the island, but I'm just saying. And then something new you're fucking with.
Something new. I really like the A5 by Watson. People like that one.
Yeah. It's becoming a crowd favorite.
Yeah, I mean, anything Skittles is becoming popular.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's so popular.
I mean, not becoming popular. I guess it's been popular.
Yeah, they haven't lost their buzz since they dropped. I feel
No,
like
that's what
that
you want,
shit.
right? Like when you
Fuck
have
yeah,
something
man.
good that's actually good,
Exactly.
that you can stand on.
And they are leading the charge in mentions, probably from
they
our
are.
guests.
Yeah, for Desert Island,
And,
that's the
and
Between that and OG.
Skittles
The
has
Skittles and
made
OG,
almost
toe-to-toe.
every show.
Well, I've heard so much controversy about the LCG, right? Because I've heard controversy. It's like there is Skittles in it, or that it is Skittles. You know, that it has Skittles in it.
most.
Like
Well,
it's
LCG it's supposed to be you know,
runts and Skittles or
It's
something,
supposed
right?
to be. I mean, LCG.
See, I'm not that
They
smart.
say
I
it's
don't
a
even really
bag
know.
seat of runts, and you know, runts is 33 times Skittles. You know,
Okay.
supposedly,
Oh, so
as legend has it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I
heard.
just try hard, bro. I don't know all the facts.
I'm a weed nerd. I'm a
Yeah.
encyclopedia, bro. I'll nerd out on strains all day, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need you.
Yeah, man. I try to play my
Guys
part,
like me
man.
need you.
I try to
to
play
tell
my
us.
part. Well, yeah, that too. I work with a lot of growers to like tell them, oh, look, this is what's cracking in the streets right now. You might want to get that guy out, phase that one out, bring this one in, keep that one going. Like, you know, I think it's an advantageous relationship between brokers and growers. You know, if it's a good one, no, it's hey,
Ash,
let them ash.
And if
Let ashes
Let
fall
you.
for
That's how
natural
you want to
causes.
do it. It falls
Yeah, it
naturally.
just falls.
I like that, bro. That's very up my alley.
bruh, these niggas is carrying handheld vacuums.
Oh yeah,
now,
proper dogs
where
don't play.
they
bro.
have
Shout out to them.
ash breaks off because they don't ash it, so it's gonna break at some point.
And it's crazy.
And they pull out a thing, goes.
Oh no shit, bro! I got you. You don't see it on the show. Swear to God, bro.
I was bugging out.
Swear to God.
I'm out of the loop.
Oh no, nobody's in that loop, bro.
Yeah.
They're in their own loop.
Oh, okay.
They're putting us all on, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, this is new shit.
This is new
It's that
shit.
2022 shit.
It's like that 80s hand vacuum.
Yeah, it's like a dust buster.
Oh,
Remember the
my
dust- But it's a little guy. It's
But
like
bro,
a little, it looks like a little
damn, bro.
speaker.
This big.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the
Shit's tight.
bro. You're gonna see that everywhere.
Shit's tight, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could smoke with two people, one that's still here with us, one that's no longer here with us, who would they be?
Could be famous, could be family, could be
Old friend that's no longer
a
with
smart
us.
person you want to have
Yeah.
a conversation with,
Oh,
inspirational person,
Bro.
someone you're having a 15-minute joint with, and you get to have a
Dope-ass
conversation with.
over some joint fire.
I don't know. I read a lot of books, and this guy Napoleon Hill's written a lot of like the very
I'm very
best
familiar.
ones, and
Have you've read Think and Grow Rich? I assume.
Outwitting the Devil.
Outwitting the
and
Devil's a good one.
Other ones, bro. Outwitting the Devil. Shout out Outwitting the Devil. If y'all
Don't
y'all in
listen-
a dark
yeah.
time,
Yeah, it's a good one.
read that one.
Don't listen to the audio at nighttime though. while you're
I never
driving.
listen to audio.
Tripping.
Never have
Fuck,
ever.
dude.
I can't
Yeah.
do it,
anyway,
bro.
Hey, continue. I'm always on the road, so
It'd probably be Napoleon Hill. Then what?
Napoleon Hill. So he's no longer.
He's
with us.
dead?
So who's here? Yeah, he's no longer with us. So
Who's here?
Right.
That I mean, females too.
Yeah, anybody.
Bro. My homie said Jesus. It's no right or wrong answer.
Bro,
We've heard Snoop Dogg a couple times. We've heard.
I'd
I want
wanna-
to leading the charge. Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
No.
I've
it'd
done
be,
it.
I'd want to. If I could choose a female.
No.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, yeah.
can choose anybody.
It would be Mila Kunis from that movie where she's in like Hawaii.
Oh, yeah. I
and
know.
her ex is like there, and she's with
Yeah.
the rock star.
Yeah, with Russell Brand, right?
Yeah. Bro.
Mila Kunis from that 70s show.
Mila Kunis,
yeah.
for some reason in that movie, she did shit to me. Bro.
That was, she gave me a feeling inside.
Just forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Mila
there you
Kunis,
go.
but just only that movie. Who
Yeah.
smoked like in that movie in Hawaii or whatever instead of Russell Brand or something.
Right.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, that'd be her.
So real quick, man, before we get up out of here, man, shout your favorite plug out from back in the day.
R.I.P. Actually, probably shouldn't even mention him because he's a local dude and he was local Italian dude, but he was the first one to ever.
He's not here with us?
No,
like him
and it's
already,
recent.
jeez.
Yeah, I'll tell
He's
you.
no longer
I
there?
could tell you. Yeah, off record.
Off record, yeah. But
But he passed
shout him
away
out.
recently.
We'll call him Tony.
That was his name.
that his name?
No.
Oh, fuck.
But yeah, he actually passed
No,
away
for
maybe
sure.
like a couple months ago. But he was the first person. I was actually nervous. I had my first big crop on my own. I was like, fuck. I was like, what am I going to do with all this? I don't know what I'm going to do with all this weed. I only sold like a little bit of weed and now I have this whole, I did like,
Yeah.
I got the Dr. Hopkins script,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
And
okay.
I remember him just like laughing, bro. Old man smoking a joint laughing. He's like, bro, bring it all here. I'll figure out what to do with it. And that's what I did. I pretty much owe everything to him because I never
Reverse
knew
plug.
anybody before him.
Shout out to him, man.
Reverse plug.
Shout out to Tony, a.k.a.
Reverse plug. It
Yeah,
was a
reverse
buyer that he is.
that was smart. That was a good move, man.
That was a good move.
Oh.
We're talking about
Yeah.
plug,
Oh,
like
that's a plug to me.
someone you buy from, like someone you bought from. Your,
Yeah.
Bro,
your favorite.
I had
connect.
weed since I was 13, 14.
And who was your favorite connect from
Okay.
back in the day? Who
I-
was your
I would
favorite
say- I
call
would
to
say
make
when
to
I-
go get a bag?
When I went from like an ounce or 2 ounces to more than 2 ounces, it was Crazy Troy.
Oh,
buddy's neighbor.
yeah.
Cool.
So he was
Shout
the
out
first
Crazy
one to
Troy.
get me from ounces to more to ounces.
How's he
Right.
doing? Is he still all right?
Bro, I have no idea.
No idea.
That was
Still ripping
That's
that
a whole
Harley
other
apart.
podcast.
But you could call any time of day.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, bro. You already know he's with the
That's,
shits all the
you
time.
know that makes for a favorite plug.
Yeah,
your
he
favorite plug ain't
answers
somebody
all
who's
the time.
inconsistent.
Like,
Hey,
yeah.
we don't
Shit.
take no days off.
You need the guy that answers every time.
Well, shit, man, that's dope, man. Well, before we get up out of here, I'd just like to share with people, the power of networking and making relationships, and how did we meet? We met on Instagram, but we met through some
Watson.
solid friends through Watson.
Yeah.
through
And Tom,
Watson.
too.
And Turkey Bag Tom. Shout out to them. And then who do you know that I should know, man? Who should I get on the show, bro?
I would say Green Ridge would be a
Green
wealth
Ridge.
of knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
I could see him not doing it because
That's cool,
he,
too. I just want to let him know the invite's open.
Yeah, but
Whenever he's ready.
I mean, my brother would be a fun one.
Oh,
bro.
let's go, bro.
Would be a
Rose
fun
going
one.
on there.
I think American River. You might not want to have him on because he might be able to put too many people on game with his shit, bro.
Hey,
That's
man.
awesome. That's what we
Anything
do.
goes on the Good Pizza Show.
Yeah.
Whatever he's trying to say,
Those guys.
as long as it doesn't incriminate you, you know what I'm saying?
And that's
About
what
to
you're
have Buck
doing.
Mountain.
Buck Mountain, yeah.
Yeah, Urban
Yeah.
Buddha.
You think Buddha would come on the show?
Yeah, man, he does stand-up comedy shows and stuff,
He does
bro.
stand up? Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Damn, that's what's up.
But he does it like under
He's on
wraps.
the
you know what I
low.
mean?
Yeah,
he
he's on the
doesn't
low. He
know
never
that
told
he's
me that.
hella funny, like how funny he is yet, but he's hilarious, bro.
Okay.
If you want to have a fun time,
That's what's up, man.
Urban Buddha.
So how can people find you, my friend? What's
Just-
the handle?
Instagram, plug it.
And
Greengold Collective.
Greengold at Greengold Collective, how it sounds and how it's spelled.
And how it's on the bag.
House on the bag if you were so lucky to get one.
But I'm with you on the clothing thing. Like we have a website too.
Nice, bro. What's your website?
But it's so hard because I do it all myself. You know.
It's all good, bro. What's the
That's
website?
greengoldcollective.com.
Greengold Collective?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And we make stuff sometimes. It's hard, bro, when you're doing everything else. So it's
I'm
like until you
bootstrapping
get
it
it like
too, bro.
streamlined.
I get it,
Yeah.
man. I get it, man. Well, shit, bro. Thanks for hooking up. I appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Down,
Appreciate it.
And it was good to meet you, man. You're one of my boys. My fault. I missed it.
Bro, no, I can't do that. I looked at him. I thought he was gonna be looking at me.
Coast, I don't know if you guys do it all. You know, guys don't always do it all the time.
It's really hard to know what you know what I mean.
No, you gotta watch. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, thanks for tuning back in, Cool Jeans. We'll see y'all next time, man. Peace, love, good pizza. We are out of here.
Now that's good pizza.